So why don't rich people overthink? Because they've figured out that overthinking is a luxury they cannot afford on the road to success. The ultra-wealthy have a kind of mental operating system optimized for decisiveness. They cut away the non-essentials, they set up rules and deadlines, they trust their training and intuition, and they keep their emotions in check. It all adds up to this core insight. Action, even with uncertainty, is almost always more profitable than paralyzed inaction. They live by it. Jeff Bezos famously said that being wrong may hurt you less than you think, but being slow will definitely hurt you. That is the crux. They don't overthink because they value momentum. Every billionaire, every CEO, every top athlete we've discussed, they all illustrate one thing: doing beats dwelling. That was the worst case. He understood it and was okay with it. But the best case, launching an airline, was only possible if he acted immediately. 5 years later, Virgin Atlantic took its first official flight. That airport moment became legend. But it's not magic or luck, it's a mindset. Branson later joked that a fellow passenger told him, "Sharpen up the service a bit and you could be in the airline business," which planted the seed. Notice, if Branson had sat and overthought, what if I lose money? What about insurance? Is this allowed? He'd still be in that airport lounge as just another stranded traveler. Instead, his bias for action created an opening for luck and opportunity to strike. It's the perfect illustration of everything we've discussed: clarity on the goal, speed in execution, comfort with the risk, and willingness to adapt. That is why the wealthy move differently. The big aha here is that rich people aren't necessarily smarter than everyone else in every decision. They just make more decisions. They give themselves more swings at bat. They don't let paralysis steal their time. And over time, that decisiveness compounds into huge advantages: wealth, influence, and new opportunities that never come to those who wait too long. Now, you might be thinking, this is great for them, but what about me? I'm not a billionaire with a personal staff or years of experience to trust. Fair point. But the beauty of these principles is that they can apply to anyone in measures large or small. Consider starting with your own routines. Is there a trivial choice you can automate to free up mental bandwidth? Perhaps meal prepping your lunches for the week so you're not overthinking every noon. How about setting a firm deadline on a decision you've been wavering on and forcing yourself to choose when the time is up? That's something you can try tomorrow. I'll decide by Friday, period. You can also practice the good enough rule in low-stakes situations. Next time you're shopping for, say, a new appliance, don't spend 10 hours reading reviews. Set a few key criteria, maybe price and warranty and a couple of features. And when you find one that ticks those boxes, go for it. Notice how it feels. Liberating? Scary? Either way, you're training that decisiveness muscle. Or take inspiration from the Stoics. If you're up late spiraling over a decision, pause and ask, am I magnifying this in my head? What's the realistic worst outcome? And can I handle it? Often the worst case isn't as catastrophic as our imaginations make it. By grounding yourself this way, you cut off a lot of anxious overthinking and move into solution mode. And one more tip from the wealthy playbook: seek outside perspectives when you're stuck. The rich often have advisors or mentors precisely to avoid getting lost in their own heads. You can do a version of that. Call a friend who's level-headed or someone knowledgeable, not to tell you what to do, but to help you see the forest for the trees. Sometimes just articulating the dilemma to an outsider will clarify the obvious choice. It's a way to burst the bubble of over-analysis. In short, while you and I might not run a Fortune 500 company, we can start adopting the same approaches that those leaders use to prevent overthinking. Set routines. Embrace good enough. Use rules of thumb like the 70% rule. Focus on what you can control. Act, then adjust. These are all habits, and habits can be learned. The psychology is clear. Success favors the decisive. Ultra-wealthy individuals have internalized that lesson. They don't let overthinking sabotage their momentum. Instead, they blend strategy with action, turning sound analysis into real-world results by pulling the trigger at the right moment. And the exciting truth is, these mental frameworks are timeless. They come from ancient philosophy, from military battlefields, from hard science, and they're available to all of us. We started with a question: why don't rich people overthink? Now we have the answer. Because they've trained themselves to trust informed action over endless deliberation. It's not about recklessness, it's about being bold when it counts. So the next time you face a daunting decision and feel the drag of analysis paralysis setting in, remember what you learned here. Take a page from the playbooks of billionaires, generals, and philosophers. Get the key info. Yes, do your homework. But when your gut and your groundwork say go, then go. go. As the old Latin proverb says, fortune favors the bold. It favored Branson that day in the airport. It favors the CEOs steering companies through uncertainty, and it can favor you too if you choose to take action while others are still overthinking. That's the psychology of not overthinking, and that's one way the rich got rich. Now, what will you do with that insight? Clarity doesn't come from thinking longer. It comes from acting sooner. The decision is already waiting. The only question is whether you'll act or overthink it.